Hello students, welcome to the social science subject, standard 7, chapter number 1, tracing changes through 1,000 years. We have already studied in 6th standard about ancient history. Ancient history, we studied about primitive age, we saw about the old society, and we studied about the Maurya Samrajya. We studied about Harshvardhana, Lord Buddha. This all people we have already studied. In 8th standard students, you will be studying about modern history, where you will be getting connected with the arrival of the Britishers. Whereas in 7th standard, you all are going to understand what is medieval period. What is medieval period? Medieval period means a period between ancient and modern. The center part is termed as medieval period. Medieval history. Medieval India refers to 8th to 18th century in the Indian subcontinent. It is divided into two parts or the two periods, early medieval period and the late medieval period. The early medieval period lasted from the 8th to 13th century and the late medieval period lasted from 13th to 18th century. Now we will know about the changes which took place in the past, that is the medieval time period. Change 1, use of maps. Children, here you can see the two maps which are given, map 1 and map 2. We will know in detail about these two maps. Map 1, which was made by Al-Idrisi. You can see here the map. The top portion is Sri Lanka, where you would expect North India to be. So the map which was made was totally upside down, and this is all southern India which has been made. It was used for 3 centuries. This was the first map which was made, which is used for almost 3 centuries. Let's see in detail what all is there. Al-Idrisi was an Arab geographer. He made this map in 1154. In this map, South India is where we would expect to find North India. Sri Lanka is an island at the top of India. The names of the place are marked in Arabic, and there are some popular places of UP, that is Kannauj. Actually, they used to write, at present we write Kannauj, but in earlier times they used to spell the alphabet instead of K, they used to write Q. Now we will see the second map. Map number 2, map of India made by a French cartographer. Map 2, just observe this map. You can see the outline, okay, of this map and the present day map is almost similar. The coastal line is also almost similar. It was drawn in 1720, that is 600 years after map 1. That is, Al-Idrisi had made first map. After 600 years, the French cartographer Guillaume Dille, he had made this map. This map is more familiar to us because it is exactly looking like the present day map. The coastal area in particular are detailed. It was used by European sailors and merchants for their voyages or journeys. Who is a cartographer? Cartographer is a person who makes maps. Change number 2. What is change number 2? New and old terminologies. Okay, meaning of various terms changed over time. Here you will see an example of Hindustan. At present, when we talk about Hindustan, Hindustan is termed as India at present. But in the past time, do you want to know what they used to tell about Hindustan, the term? Okay, let's see. Persian chronicler MA.SHA, the area of Punjab and Haryana and the lands between Ganga and Yamuna, that is in the 13th century, MA.SHA in political sense, he mentioned these lands that were under Delhi Sultanate, okay, to be Hindustan. He just considered the northern part, okay, he never considered southern India as a part of Hindustan, but only the northern part where the Delhi Sultanate was ruling in. The second one is Babur. Who is Babur? Babur is Akbar's grandfather, right? Babur's son was Humayun, Humayun's son is Akbar. So, Akbar is the grandson of Babur. So, let's know what Babur thought of Hindustan. According to Babur, the geography, the fauna and the culture of the inhabitants of the subcontinent was termed as Hindustan. In that era, that is 16th century, Amir Khusro also used in his poems Hind in a similar way to describe about Hindustan. And today we tell India to be the modern nation state. Meaning of the term, the second word, new and old terminologies. The second word which is used is a foreigner. Who is a foreigner? Foreigner, according to the present time, you will say, okay, a non-Indian can be termed as a foreigner. Who is a stranger, okay, is termed as a foreigner. But in the past, a stranger who was not a part of a society or culture was termed as foreigner. But in present, we say someone who is not an Indian. Let's see change number 3. Historians and their sources. How did historians get to know about the past? It is just from the archaeological evidences and the literary evidences. Sources available to the historians for the study of history of the past. Archaeological evidences like coins, inscriptions, architecture, forts, temples, tombs, paintings. These are all archaeological evidences. Literary evidences, letters, teaching of saints, manuscripts. Manuscripts are books or the documents, petitions and judicial records. This all judicial work or petitions that they used to file up in one of the books. Holy text, chronicles of rulers. Now you can see all these sources which are available for the historians for the study of the past. Here you can see inscription on Qutub Minar. All the detailing work which you can see, manuscript, all the things are written in Arabic language, coins which were used in earlier time period, use of paper for writing, manuscripts. Manuscripts were collected. We used to collect wealthy people, rulers, monasteries and temples. They were people who used to take care of this all manuscripts, the documents, the books, and they used to place it in either libraries or in the archives. These manuscripts and documents were rich and vital source of information for the historians to study about the past. But they were difficult to use. Why were they difficult to use? We'll get to know in the next slide. Scribes copied manuscripts by hand. There are the meanings of these words: manuscript, handwritten book or document. Scribe, a person who writes books or documents by hand as a profession. Manuscripts are the original document which has been made by the author, and scribes are the people who are the copyists. And these people copy the manuscripts and then keep it. they make a lot of versions out of the original manuscripts. Difficulties historians faced in using manuscripts. Scribes introduced numerous changes in manuscripts while copying. Why? Because of less legible handwriting. They used to write in two different styles. One is nishkaste and other way of writing. One is cursive writing and one is other way of writing. So here some of the handwritings were not clear. Personal bias, misinterpretation. The manuscript which originally the author had written meant something, but when the scribe used to copy it down, whatever the meaning he understood, he copied it by himself. So that is termed as misinterpretation. So what the author thought or what he had an intention for writing that, it was totally changed. An exaggeration of facts and making the actual writing into something else. So there were some facts which were not common, but it kept changing. Second, the small but significant changes grew over centuries of copying until manuscripts of the same text became substantially different from one another. Original manuscripts are rarely found. As a result, historians have to read different manuscripts versions of the same text to guess what the author had originally written. Interesting fact, the 14th century chronicler Ziauddin Barani wrote his chronicle first in 1356 and wrote another version 2 years later. Both the versions were kept in library, but they were not being found. Historians were not aware of the existence of the earlier version till 1960 because it remained lost in the large library collection. Okay students, you all must have understood with this first topic. We'll meet in the next video. Till then, take care of yourselves. Bye-bye.